Am I the a-hole for trying to prevent my wife from going on a tropical Christmas vacation without me? Okay, so my 31 male, wife's 29 female father unexpectedly and tragically died back in 2020. He was deeply loved by his family and friends, and hundreds of people mourned his loss. His absolute favorite holiday was Christmas. He was responsible for bringing the Christmas spirit to the family each year. Because of this, his absence has been painfully noticeable the past 3 Christmases, which has caused my wife's family extreme mental anguish. Therefore, my in-laws recently decided that they would leave their cold home during Christmas of 2023 and spend a week in the Caribbean to forget about their troubles. My in-laws really like my company, and I've spent the past 7 Christmases with them. I was invited to join them on this trip, but I'm a firefighter and it's impossible for me to leave my job for 8 days during Christmas. And honestly, it'll likely always be impossible for me to do such a big trip during the holidays until I retire. My in-laws understand and are saddened that I can't get off of work, but they've decided to still go on the vacation without me. I believe the vacation is a bad idea. It seems as though they're running away from their grief instead of just dealing with it in a healthy way. Like maybe therapy, which so far all have refused to participate in. My fear for them is that they'll all still feel miserable and sad on Christmas, but with a change of scenery. Dude, that's not his place to decide though. Anyways, let me keep going. I originally tried to be understanding of this trip, but a very close friend of mine, 31 female, said that her leaving me behind was effed up, which caused me to think a lot more about it. Wow, so it was another woman, huh? Always another woman. After a few weeks of thinking about it, I finally told my wife that although I know that she's trying to help her mother escape her sorrows, I felt somewhat abandoned and angry since she knew I would never be able to join her on a trip like this in the first place. I also told her that I felt that this trip was completely in vain and would not achieve any of the desired results. I asked if there could be a compromise or if the Caribbean was really the only way to cure the sadness. I was told that I should be more supportive and that this trip was a one-time thing, and that there was no alternative solution to the problem. I told her that I didn't like that answer, but was told that this was just the way of things and that there's nothing more that can be done. I should point out that I can and most likely will spend Christmas with a very close friend and my father's family who all live nearby. So it's not like I'll be left entirely alone for the holidays. However, it's still a bummer to be left behind by my own wife on Christmas for a non-urgent reason. I also worry that this could turn into a tradition that my wife might choose to leave the country each year, leaving me behind every Christmas for the next 25 years, until I retire. I don't feel like I have any way to fix this problem, and I have no way to fight it except to say, please don't. I also feel like a real a-hole for trying to stop my wife from trying to take care of her family's 3+ years of emotional trauma. So am I? And I should point out that my wife regularly goes on vacations with her family without me 2 or 3 times a year. I'm used to it and I'm never jealous of her trips. This isn't a jealousy issue. It's more about wanting to be with my wife on Christmas. And I'm feeling frustrated at her family for not addressing their grief for a death that occurred over 3 years ago, and instead just leaving the country on a holiday. Okay, so first and foremost, you do not get to tell someone how they need to grieve. So although I understand the husband's complaints, and I wouldn't want to be without my husband on Christmas either, but you cannot tell them how they should be grieving. That's the part that really pisses me off about this story. If they feel that that's going to help their problem, then so be it. It's not his place to decide. Now, I do understand the concerns of him not wanting this to become a tradition with the family, because I definitely would not want to be left out of a tradition for Christmas with my family. But it's a one-time thing. That's what the wife said, and I think that she deserves to go on this trip with her family. That's just my opinion. So you guys let me know in the comments what you think about this whole situation. So the #1 comment on Reddit with over 15,000 likes says, "You're the a-hole. Your friend needs to butt out. You should be happy that your wife can celebrate her father with a trip this year. If it starts to become a yearly thing, you can cross that bridge when you come to it." And they made a great point. The friend needs to stay out of it. It's honestly not her place to be criticizing his wife. But in her defense, the friend would have never known anything if the husband didn't bring her into his drama. I don't know. I don't want to be too hard on him because his concerns are somewhat valid. So I guess I'll say he's a 6 out of 10 a-hole, only because I get why you wouldn't want to spend Christmas without your significant other. But for the friend though, you guys have to let me know what a-hole rating you would give her on a scale of 1 to 10. Also, I wanted to show you guys the newest mushroom that I made. It was almost a fail. I don't know, I just wanted to play with some colors in my alcohol inks, and I had a good idea for this one. So I used rainbow lights with white resin, and then for the lid, I just used crystal clear resin, and I swirled in some colorful alcohol ink. So it didn't turn out exactly the way I wanted it to, but I think it came out really cool once you turn on the lights. And I decided to use white for the outlines on the lid, and I think it kind of tied the whole jar together. It's not exactly what I was going for, but I'm definitely going to be trying this again soon. So let me know what you guys think about the final results. Alright besties, as usual, I will see you in my next video. Stay amazing, stay kind, peace.